Hi everyone, my name is Erin and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about a book called 10 Arguments for Deleting Your Social Media Accounts Right Now by Jaron Lanier. Now I know it's a little bit bizarre to be talking about a book titled 10 Reasons for Deleting Your Social Media Accounts Right Now, and then publishing this video on a social media account that you can then only view if you use social media, but here we are. I really wanted to talk about it today. So a little bit about Jaron himself. He's been in the tech industry forever. It's totally fascinating to me that he has created and been a part of creating the very things that are shaping our experiences of and on social media today. He's been a huge proponent in what VR looks like, and he's been in the industry for a very long time. He's done all of these things without having a social media account himself. And he goes on to explain through these arguments why deleting your social media accounts are better for both you as a person and you as a product. Now, I know a lot of people might not view themselves as product. I certainly didn't for a very long time. Of course, you are the user of social media. But these gargantuan, otherworldly media companies view you as a product. They sell your information. And Jaron goes in to describe these things in detail throughout this very short book. Now I want to put a little bit of an aside right here at the beginning of the video before I talk about the book, because I want to talk about why I picked this up. I picked it up because, as a lot of people felt, December was just not a very good month. I felt like I was glued to my phone, always looking at something instead of at someone, and I wanted to take a break. Initially, I thought that January would be a great time to just get off of social media, and I felt like it was more difficult than I thought it would be. I struggle still halfway through the month with, managing what time I do put into social media. And, as someone who is supposed to cut all of it out, I am still using it. And this book served kind of a twofold purpose for me. It validated the addiction that I'm trying to break, and it also made me see who I am as a user outside of my own self, what I represent to, the people who make money within these companies. So the 10 arguments for deleting your social media accounts right now, I want to run through them quick, and then I will talk about the book, is that you are losing your free will. The second is quitting social media is the most finely targeted way to resist the insanity of our times. Number 3 is social media is turning you into an asshole. Number 4 is social media is undermining the truth. Number 5 is social media is making what you say meaningless. Number 6, social media is destroying your capacity for empathy. Number 7, social media is making you unhappy. Number 8 is social media does not want you to have economic dignity. Number 9 is that social media is making politics impossible. And number 10 is that social media hates your soul. Like I've mentioned, Jaron has been in the tech industry forever. He knows the business models, he knows how they make money, he knows about the ad revenues and the algorithms, and he knows really good people who are working for companies with questionable morals. And he also sees what social media is doing from an outsider's perspective to people who are forced either for work or because of addictive tendencies to be on social media day in and day out. So we all know that when the internet was created, there was no real idea of what it could be, what it would be, and who would benefit most from it. And when social media was created, we all know that it was just a free platform for people to connect across time and space, and it was wonderful. But like any company, social media platforms had to make money, and the easiest way, it seemed, was through ads. We all know about what Adpocalypse was on YouTube in 2017, and we all know about the cheeky algorithms that are taking away our choice to choose what we see when we see it. And quite honestly, we've all been really creeped out when we've said something to someone offline, and then the very next time we open a browser, those exact products or experiences we were talking about showed up in ads on our feed. Jaron discusses the logistics of the algorithm and how they are marketed to enhance our user experience, but really they're just watching us. He talks about how every double tap, every slight hesitation to read through a post, every subtle facial movement, and of course the emojis you use affect how the algorithm adapts to us to create a sort of perfect storm where we are most likely to purchase, download, or open something in a new tab. Now, these algorithms work until they are successful and then they stay the same. If something in your life were to change and you no longer make the purchases that you are predicted to make, the algorithm changes again. Ad companies pay billions of dollars for this information, for this data, for the notion that you might make a purchase if the right ad is placed at the right time. Jaron also speaks quite heavily on how the curated experience is ruining our ability to feel empathy. If all we see is our friends and family's smiling square photographs in a timeline or a feed, we tend to lose sight that they are people too. We tend to compare our own experiences if we are having a bad day and we see only happy faces reflected back at us. It tends to make us feel worse. This comparative culture that Instagram and Facebook have curated and in fact continue to grow is simply because loneliness and sadness sells more than your happiness does. Now, a lot of the arguments in this book seem quite scary, and I'll be honest with you, not all of them hit home for me. But Jaron also talks heavily about the addictive nature of social media, and like I've mentioned before, it's something that I'm struggling with. He talks about how we've lost the ability to feel uncomfortable because we just mask the feeling with looking at social media when we are in line, alone, or waiting for a friend. Heck, we can't even be in a conversation with someone without checking our phones. Now, part of this is the algorithm. It's its job to keep you on the app scrolling for as long as possible. If you're bored, if you're sad, if you're angry, if you're happy, if you're sharing the happiest moment of your life, the feed you see will always be different from the experience felt from other people. If sadness is what keeps you on the algorithm, only images that keep you sad will be shown, with maybe a little bit of a dopamine hit with something that makes you happy. But if someone else is always happy when using social media, their feed will show the happiest things first. This sort of cycle creates a must-check, anticipation or anxiety, different sides of the same coin, depending on how you look at it. And that is how we've evolved to have this sort of can't live without social media or your smartphone culture. Now, the addictive argument is the one that hit home for me. It's something that I'm actively struggling with as a person who's trying to stay off social media. I will be honest, I don't particularly miss Instagram, but that's because being away from it, I've realized that it's the app that makes me the most unhappy. But Twitter and Facebook are close seconds in that realm, but I still have a very hard time breaking the twitch of going and looking on something. I've deleted these apps from my phone, but somehow when I'm bored or uncomfortable, it's so easy to download these apps and log back in again just to feel better or like I'm in a different place than where I am. Now, quite honestly, you can probably tell I'm not in a very good place with my social media habits or the way it's making me feel right now, which is why I read this book. I wanted help and I wanted validation, and I got both of those things. I'm going to leave you with a little bit of an anecdote that proved what Jaron was saying to me more than I ever really wanted it to. I read this book and then I posted or updated my Goodreads account. Goodreads, if you do not know, is a site where you can catalog the books you read, you want to read, and you can catalog them as specific or as generic as you want. But Goodreads is owned by Amazon. And so once I posted that I had read this book and then I enjoyed it, all of a sudden when I went to YouTube, every video ever titled, "I took X amount of time off the internet and this is what I learned," popped up in my recommended for you tab. You know what? I'm a sucker. And I watched a few of them. So the algorithm doesn't not work. But I am a little bit ticked that all it took was me posting that I had read that book on a book website, and here we are. I want to say thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know if you've read this book, if you want to, or if you've taken time off social media yourself. I want to let you know the next book that I am reading, the next, sort of self-help book that I'm reading, in case you want to read it or you are going to look forward to my thoughts on it. But I'm currently reading The Compound Effect, Jumpstart Your Income, Your Life, and Your Success by Darren Hardy. I am about 100 pages in, so I will be writing a review and coming at you with that soon. I'm finding the information in here very valuable, so I can't wait to talk about this. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you want to talk about this, but you don't want to talk about it in the comment section, I always leave my Twitter in the description, so you can send me a direct message if you have something a little bit more to say, or if you want to have it back and forth. I really don't mind. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and if you check out this book, I hope it changes the way you view social media and your experience, and I will talk to you soon with another video. Bye.